upload inshallah. Right, we'll start again. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammadin Nabiyil Ummi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. So we stopped here last time. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وإن كنتم في ريب مما نزلنا على عبدنا فأتوا بسورة من مثله وادعوا شهداءكم من دون الله إن كنتم صادقين. So we said last time that Allah challenged the Arab to bring a surah similar to the Quran, and in another part he said عشر to be عشر آيات محكمات, not even surah, عشر آيات, and the Arab obviously failed and they couldn't do it. Although they tried, and we mentioned last time that there were a few, laughable sentences they brought. فإن لم تفعلوا ولن تفعلوا فاتقوا النار التي وقودها الناس والحجارة أعدت للكافرين. But if you cannot, and of surety you can't, definitely you can't, then, and it's 1400 years now passed and none of them brought a Quran similar to it, so it stood the test of time. So, and the Arab know less than 1 per thousands of the Arab knew at that time the Arabic language. Even the professors and doctors just make a mess out of the Arabic language. Obviously they can't, they will never can. So Allah said here, if you can't, and you will definitely won't, so protect yourself from the fire, which is the fuel of the fire is human and stones. Allah prepared for the kafirin. So how is it that it will be stones? How stones will be fuel of the fire? All the idols which people worship. Yeah, they said, but these you are burning the stone, or the stone burning them? You're burning the stone, burning them, on the stone is the fuel. Another way, is the stone like petrol or coal, or are the stone burned by something else? The ayah saying the people and the stones are the fuel. So what I brought to you here is this.
In this video, we're going to learn about the nuclear reactor. Nuclear reactors are the modern-day devices extensively used for power generation, as the traditional fossil fuels, like coal, are at the breach of extinction. A nuclear reactor is the source of intense heat, which is in turn used for generation of power in nuclear power stations. Its mechanism is similar to that of a furnace in a steam generator. The steam is used to drive the turbines of the electric generator system. A nuclear reactor consists of three crucial components: fuel elements, moderator, and control rods.
So there are fuel elements, which is the uranium. So stones, which is called uranium, is used to burn people. So the stones are minerals. You split the minerals, split the atoms, you generate heat. Obviously, that's no way near the knowledge the time of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. Even us here, it wasn't easy straight away. Coal is actually, you're not splitting the atom. And the atom, the hijara are atom, which you don't actually burn the stone. You split the atom, you generate the heat. Or do you fuse the atom, like hydrogen, you fuse it, you create helium and nuclear power. So the ayah is actually for us here. It's not. And I'm surprised why the Arab didn't see. Can't see you. I can't see half your face, so you need to sit on the middle chair. So, so the ayah is for 21st century. It's not actually for the Arab. But if you read the tafsir of the Arab, they don't actually comment much on it. Subhanallah. They didn't come and say to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, how are you going to use the fire, that stone? Probably there's one thing at that time, what they were doing with the stones. They were rubbing the stones to generate, probably they took it that way. While we take it, splitting the atom generate huge electricity. وبشر الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات أن لهم جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار كلما رزقوا منها من ثمرة رزقا قالوا هذا الذي رزقنا من قبل وأتوا به متشابها. And I'm not actually fully prepared to show you the next. So the next ayah, I'm going to link this things I have here. Marwan, probably you need to help me here. Because the sound is not actually coming as it should. You need to connect this from the back and switch it on. So the next ayah وبشر الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات أن لهم. Trying to see where is the.
It's on that side.
Which one of the two?
It's the first one.
Yeah. So the next ayah وبشر الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات أن لهم جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار كلما رزقوا منها من ثمرة رزقا قالوا هذا الذي رزقنا من قبل وأتوا به متشابها ولهم فيها أزواج مطهرة وهم فيها خالدون. So a straightforward ayah to give the glad tidings and the good news to those who believe and work righteousness, that their portion is gardens beneath which rivers flow. They sometimes say تجري من تحتها الأنهار, underneath, sometimes تجري فيها, in it, the rivers. And Sheikh Sharawi said that تجري من تحتها because sometimes when you have, if you're a farmer and you work on farmland, you know the rivers will be coming to feed all these farms, and the one at the beginning he could block it. So he said, no, don't worry, it comes underneath, it will reach you, can't be blocked. Now the problem between Egypt and Ethiopia that they put this dam and they want to take the water, fill the dam, so they will have less water in Egypt, and the problem I think is still not solved. كلما رزقوا منها من ثمرة رزقا, every time they are fed with fruits therefrom, they say, why this is what we used to be getting in previous life, but it was not. It was a similar. It looked like the fruit in this life. Why is that? Why is that? Why Allah gave it similar, gave us similar fruit to what's on earth? Obviously, different taste, different smell, different things, but it looked similar. Oh, that's an apple. Oh, you used to eat this cucumber, and this we eat, this.
Familiarity with it?
Yes, they will. Yeah, they will come and eat it. So you try it. When you go to the market here, you buy it. You go home. That doesn't taste like when we came to Britain. Syria was very hot, so always you get really the apple really sweet and the apricot really nice and the peach and all that. When we came here, it looked like it. Even sometimes looked better, but the taste is nowhere near what we used to. And I was listening to Close to Truth program, and one of the philosopher, he was saying that when he if there is next life, he want to feel it's him. It's not a new creation Allah created. You want to know that it is him who came back. So the soul, we don't know the soul. I mean, I wouldn't know that's my soul. I know myself is my soul, but how would you know the day of judgment it is really you, it's not a new creation Allah created? And we have this only one sentence, one hadith will satisfy that philosopher. Obviously, they didn't have Islam in their discussion. But we have one hadith to make her feel really happy. It is me. What is the hadith? The Prophet ﷺ said, when the son of Adam dies, all part of his body will vanish except the end of his sacrum bone. And from it, he will be brought back to life. So it's actually you, your DNA, your part of your body build up. I mean, like our body always shed cells and make new cells, and shed blood and make new blood, and even the bones will be changed every 3 months. We have even new atoms, not only new cells, new atoms, because they labeled calcium and radioactive calcium, and they found that it only stays 3 months in the body and then go after 3 months. So if you go away for 3 months and you come back, you're totally different Muhammad and different Saeed than the one who left us. And I don't know your experience, but my experience, the first look at the person who's been away for 5-6 months, it's like, yeah, it's him. It is really him, you know. Like my wife went to Gaziantep, and she came, and her sister first, oh yes, it's you, because she came from the back. She was looking that she comes from that gate, and she came from the back gate. So when she turned, the first split of second or whatever, didn't realize it was her.
It happens a lot, especially if your wife puts makeup on you. Think that
You can't talk. وَأُتُوا بِهِ مُتشَابِهًا وَلَهُمْ فِيهَا أَزْوَاجٌ مُطَهَّرَةٌ. In Surah Al-Rahman said, لَمْ يَطْمِثْهُنَّ إِنسٌ قَبْلَهُمْ وَلَا جَانٌ. These are created for you. إِنَّا أَنشَأْنَاهُنَّ إِنشَاءً فَجَعَلْنَاهُنَّ فجعلناهن أبكارا عربا أترابا لأصحاب اليمين. So they are created for you, all virgins and all عربا أترابا and لأصحاب اليمين, to people of that. And this following ayah, it's the one which a challenge from Allah Azza wa Jal, and that's to us as well. It's never to the Arab at the time of the Prophet. إن الله لا يستحي أن يضرب مثلا ما بعوضة فما فوقها. فما فوقها here, not in the size, in the complexity. Because the بعوضة can do something, but the virus can do far much more damage than a virus to a human. Although it is very small, but it is more damaging than malaria caused by mosquitoes and things. You get, the smallpox virus and coronavirus and other viruses. So in Allah لا يستحي أن يضرب مثلا ما بعوضة فما فوقها. Allah it doesn't shy away from giving an example or similitude of things lowest as well as highest than mosquitoes. And those فأما الذين آمنوا, those who believe, they know Allah is telling the truth. فيعلمون أنه الحق من ربهم, from their Lord. وأما الذين كفروا, those who disbelieve and cover the truth, they will say, why Allah brought this example? What does He mean by it? Why He would bring the example of a mosquitoes to us? يضل به كثيرا. So the example might take some people astray, and some people might be guided by it. وما يضل به إلا الفاسقين. So those who will go astray with it are those who are fasiqin. So if I take you to the mosquitoes, and I think it should come, yeah. So if you go to the video and see what he did.
The superior features in the body of the mosquito. You will soon once again be seeing how such a tiny creature as the mosquito is a great proof of creation. Contrary to popular opinion, mosquitoes do not feed on blood. Male mosquitoes never suck blood at all throughout their lives. It is only the females that suck blood, and they do this only to meet their eggs' protein needs during the laying process. The mosquito has two antennae, one on either side of its head. These organ sensory cells are incredibly powerful receptors. Female mosquitoes also have a tube, known as a proboscis, used to suck blood, situated between the antennae.
Like an
This
alien.
tube is no ordinary simple one. It is the sheath for a highly specialized cutting and vacuuming mechanism. When the mosquito bites, the sheath retracts and the cutting mechanism goes into action.
Even the little things have.
This cutting mechanism consists of 6 parts. 4 of them are very sharp cutting blades. The 2 other parts combine together to form a hollow tube. The mosquito inserts this tube into the tissue it has cut and sucks up blood. One of the most important features of the mosquito's proboscis is that it can bend at a certain depth. By means of this glorious property, the proboscis can move easily beneath the skin. This enables the insect to reach the area that is richest in blood vessels. But why is it we feel nothing as the insect is doing all this on our bodies? Because the mosquito miraculously prevents us doing so. It uses a local anesthetic. Yes, that's right. It uses a local anesthetic. How? The moment the mosquito bites, the defense system in the human body goes into operation and begins secreting an enzyme to stop the blood in that area. This enzyme also causes the blood to clot. If the blood starts to coagulate, it will be impossible for the mosquito to suck it up. But the mosquito has taken appropriate countermeasures. Despite being very small, it acts as if it knew all about the systems in the human body and injects a fluid from one of the blades into the wound. This fluid numbs the tissues and prevents the blood from coagulating. It is this fluid that later causes the area around the bite to itch and swell. All of this takes place in a very short space of time that it takes many seconds to describe, and the person is typically quite unaware the mosquito has bitten him. Now, an interesting point to consider. How does the mosquito know that blood possesses the property of clotting? Local anesthesia before surgery is a technique human beings have developed with the help of medical science, and relatively recently at that. So how did the mosquito come to acquire this knowledge? How did it come to possess these fluids, which are very difficult to synthesize, even under modern laboratory conditions, from the moment of its birth? There is a superior mechanism inside a tube measuring just 1/10 of a millimeter across and belonging to an animal typically just 1 centimeter in size. How can this be? And the fact that these systems and the information required for the mosquito have been present in all the trillions of mosquitoes that have ever lived? The answer is clear. Allah has created mosquitoes and their anatomy and the structure of the human body down to the finest detail, and He rules over them. For people who think deeply, all living things are full of proofs of the manifest existence of Allah. Allah reveals this in the Quran. I seek refuge in Allah from the accursed Satan. Mankind, an example has been made, so listen to it carefully. Those whom you call upon besides Allah are not even able to create a single fly, even if they were to join together to do it. And if a fly steals something from them, they cannot get it back. How feeble are both the seeker and the sought. They do not measure Allah with His true measure. Allah is all-strong, almighty.
So this is an ayah which is obviously to the 21st century, and I have to stop this. 21st century. It's just when Ubadah and Talha went to Imperial College, and Talha went to LSE studying math and economy, and Talha studying medicine. So I said, the fly knows more than you, because the fly knows how much anesthetic to put, and not only anesthetic, it also anticoagulant, stop the blood coagulating, and it measures the time it needs, how much you need to put under the skin to keep it numb, so you will not discover the mosquitoes there until she's already over there. So she measured mathematically how long, how much she put, and how long it takes to wear off, and how quick she needs to leave the place and fly away. So you will just hit yourself when you hit the fly, you hit yourself. Subhanallah. I mean that's an ayah for us. 21st century is definitely not before this look anesthetic and discovered, and microscope, that these tiny cameras now who can see and film the insects in action. And obviously وما يضل به إلا الفاسقين. No one can challenge the Quran at any time till the day of judgment, because there will be always something definitely from Allah to prove is definitely from Allah Azza wa Jal. And if you are in the Arab at that time and you want to give example to them, you wouldn't give example of mosquitoes. They can hardly, understand. You talk about the camel and the cow, which Allah did. أَفَلَا يَنْظُرُونَ إِلَى الْإِبِلِ كَيْفَ خُلِقَتْ. When we come to it, and camels, they did a research in Israel, and they found that the camel has the unique red blood cells. But when it's become very hot, it's like a spindle. The red blood cells go inside the tissue. So even they are dehydrated, it doesn't become thick. So Monday and Tuesday it's going to be hot temperature here in Britain. One of the things might kill people if they don't drink enough water and take enough salt, because the blood becomes very thick and start coagulating and blocking the arteries and small arteries, which is the dangerous one as well. So Allah, yes, gave example on the camel, example on mosquitoes, which you need to wait the 21st century to know about it. الذين ينقضون عهد الله من بعد ميثاقه. So الفاسقين here, the rebellions, فاسق, فسق in Arabic, split away from the tree. So when the fruit ripes, they split away by themselves. Even if you don't collect them, they will split away and fall. So who are the fasiqeen among human? Those who break the covenant with Allah Azza wa Jal. ينقضون عهد الله من بعد ميثاقه. When people gave covenant to Allah, quick before I bring it to you. Yeah.
When the mountain refused to take the amana, is that the same one?
When the mountain
refused to take the amana.
عرضنا الأمانة على السماوات والأرض. No, they accepted it here. They accepted and broke away from it. Yeah. وإذ أخذ الله من أصلاب وإذ أخذ ربك من بني آدم من ظهورهم ذريتهم وأشهدهم على أنفسهم ألست بربكم قالوا بلى شهدنا أن تقولوا يوم القيامة إنا كنا عن هذا غافلين. That Allah Azza wa Jal took governance from them when they were in the back of their back of Adam, and he said to them, am I not your Lord? They said, yes, you are our Lord. So that's our teacher said, that's the governance. Took on a spiritual level, on spiritual level. So when you're born, you act according to it. When you are born, you act according to the governance. Because like my grandchildren, some of them come and stay with us. And if they do something wrong, we say, have you done this? They say, yes. Okay, don't do it again. If we punish them or shout at them, second time they will lie. The first time, they don't. Have you done it? Yes. Like today, I dropped a mic, Talha's mic he bought for some expensive money. I said to me after the have you dropped it? I said, yes. It didn't hit me. It didn't punish me. But that's the way. You act according to the governance of Allah Azza wa Jal. And Margaret Mead made a research took around 10 years, and she came with 10 points. If you really respect the child like this, like this, like this, he will be really balanced child, and he will be self-centered, he will be responsible, he will be this and this. But we teach the children to behave badly, and then we blame them for behaving badly. So going back to the surah, ينقضون عهد الله من بعد ميثاقه ويقطعون ما أمر الله به أن يوصل ويفسدون في الأرض. They do these three things: break the covenant with Allah Azza wa Jal, and they cut or stop or sever the orders Allah joined asked them to do, orders to be truthful, to be helpful, to be charitable, to be respectful, to be all these, and cause mischief on earth, and they will be أولئك هم الخاسرون, they will be the true leader. Then Allah Azza wa Jal goes on to talk about how you disbelieve in Allah Azza wa Jal. Inshallah, will be in the next session. Inshallah. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين.